Hello, everybody. I am Tabitha Brown. I'm so excited because tonight I'm going to learn something new, which I absolutely love to do, especially during this time of the year, especially this year. Okay, we all know that 2020 has dealt us some different type of feelings and times, and we still have holidays upon us, right? And whether you are doing holidays via Zoom or honey, a little drive-by parade or waving from the car, whatever the case may be, you still have to celebrate, right? So tonight we have an amazing special guest here, Mrs. Erica Chan Coffman. And I want to read this because I got to make sure this is right, okay? So she's the founder and editor-in-chief of the lifestyle site, Honestly, WTF, okay? To share tips for setting a cheerful holiday table. Hello there, Erica.
Hi,
How are you, hon?
I'm good. So happy to be here with you.
Oh, honey, I'm so happy to see you. And I just love how you got everything laid out. It looks very festive already and things. So tell us, you're going to walk us through something very special tonight that we could do at home. And maybe I can do maybe with my son or something later.
Yes.
Yes,
So
tell us
we
about it.
we are going to be making an orange garland, and I love doing this around the holidays because it's so easy. So I'm going to walk you through all the steps.
Okay, absolutely. Well, let's get started with that.
Okay.
Garland, first of all, what is that? Tell me, orange garland.
A garland is something that you string along, and you could put it anywhere. Like you can put it on your table, you can hang it along a window, you can put it in your tree. And so I love this because it's so versatile and you can really do anything with it. You don't even have to make a garland. And I'm going to show you a more, simple way to incorporate dried citrus into your holiday plans, whether it be entertaining or gift wrapping, all of the things.
Oh, you
So,
fancy. Okay,
yes,
so
it's
let's
really easy. It looks fancy. That's the trick. It's like,
it does
do
all.
as little as you can and for as much show.
Yes,
But you need a lot of navel oranges, and I have a whole basket of them over there. And you can buy these at the grocery store for nothing. Bags and bags of oranges. And
yes.
so what you do is you take your oranges and then you cut them into 1/4 inch slices,
Like so, like that.
like so, like that. Exactly.
Yes, I
I
love that.
love I love orange season.
I love orange season too. And
Oh,
I have an orange tree, a blood orange tree actually in my
what?
yard. I just moved. I've only been here a week, and I just discovered that on Saturday when I went to pick them off the tree and I cut it. I was like, oh, they are blood
The
orange.
blood oranges. Well, you could do this with blood oranges. Actually, it would be really beautiful. So you cut them into 1/4 inch slices and you put them on your baking sheet. I have them on just a cooling rack, or you could put them on parchment paper, just like this, like so, like that.
Like
And then and then you put them in the oven, 175 for 4 to 5 hours. And so what happens is they crisp up and they dry out. And the drier the better, because then you're sucking out all the moisture and
mhm.
then they don't create mold, later on. You can use them next season and the season after. And then they look like this. So
Oh,
they're like little
sure.
orange chips. They're super cool and they're kind of translucent and really pretty. The thinner you cut them, the quicker they are to dry. And sometimes, I forget about them in the oven and they
Yeah,
burn and they kind of look like blood oranges, but I think it's really pretty because then you
it
get this sort of
is.
like ombre effect.
So wait, you
Um,
telling me that that'll stay like that? Like you could use that next year?
mhm.
Girl, you can just taught me something.
I know, and you could do it with limes and lemons, grapefruits, blood oranges, all the citrus, and it smells so good. And the funny thing is, okay, so I never knew that this was a thing or not a thing, but my dad growing up, we grew up in LA, so we had a fireplace, but we didn't actually like burn
You,
the fire all year round.
yeah.
But around the holidays, we would have the fire lit, and then he would take oranges and wrap them in foil and put them in the ash underneath the fire, and then for a few hours, and then we would eat them like these hot toasty oranges. And I found out later in life that it was like a very unique thing, but the smell of oranges baking in the oven and even out of the oven just reminds me of my childhood, so I love it. It's like super nostalgic. So I just think they're, even just like as a display, they're pretty in a bowl. I have these on my desk and I just smell them all day long. It smells so nice. But you
Yeah.
can make them into
Oh my
an
God, look how
orange.
that
So
is.
this is the garland.
Okay, so the
So
garlic is the actual thing that you make. And I think I saw someone,
yes,
how long do you bake it? And she said about 5 hours or so, right? On
5 hours. For to keep checking on them, check them after 4 hours. You can give them a flip. I mean, at 175, you really can't do too much damage. The worst that can happen is they turn out like this. But again, I think it's really cool.
it
Um,
is. I'm
yeah.
so
So
impressed because this is such a great thing that I did not know that you could use. I thought like I don't know what I thought. In my mind, I thought after time they would go bad or something, but I guess you've dried out all of the citrus.
yeah, you dry them all out. You don't want any moisture left. You want them kind of like very crispy. So you take a string, it could be any string, just not something super thin like thread or anything, but I have like wax linen here. And
Yeah.
then you have a needle. And this is where your kids can help you because you can get, like a dull pointed needle so they won't poke themselves. And then you just stick your needle through like this and then through again the top.
Oh, just like you sewing. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can go as long as you want and you can add, bay leaves or whatever. And then so what I meant was, you can hang these in a window, you can put them along your tree, or
Yeah.
you can just lay them, on your little tablescape and it just adds some color. And then what you can also do is this requires a lot more oranges because you're now threading them this way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, instead of face forward. And so what I've done is I have some like wooden beads and bay leaves, and
Oh,
then
you
you just
good at
and a
this.
little tassel at the end. And these are really pretty to like hang on your door. They make great gifts. They also smell amazing.
That is, honey, how did your mind even get to, like, well, how did you even know to do this? What was it that
I
said,
don't
"I-"
know.
you don't even
I
know where that came?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, Pinterest, I've seen citrus garlands, but this one was sort of like, I
Yeah.
just love the idea of stacking them and hanging them on a doorknob or something. I've been giving them away as gifts. They're just so,
Honey, I would love it as a gift. I'm telling you,
yeah, I'll
and
send you one.
keep it. Oh yeah, I'll be waiting.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to
So,
do that. With my
yeah.
son, I think he would have so much fun doing that.
Yes, he would. Look, kids love it. My kids are help me with this every year. And
Yeah.
then another thing is if you didn't want to do the whole thing and buy the 5 pounds of oranges or whatnot, you could just, um, you know, do 3 little oranges like this and then put them on your wrapping
That's
paper or your gifts. You can wrap your gifts this way. And
girl,
I
when I
also,
it's amazing.
yeah, and then like on the napkin too.
Oh my goodness. You know what I love about that? Because since
Hmm.
this year we're not able to really like go out or
Yeah.
anything fancy, you can do that at home and make yourself feel like you somewhere. Right? It's like,
Well, that's what I kind of love about this whole situation this year. I mean, to see the bright side of it all and know that even though we aren't hosting as many people this year, it's kind of nice to kind of, express yourself more, take risks and really have fun with entertaining. I mean, this is just for our family, but it could still be so fun and experimental. Like,
absolutely. And
why not?
I think that's the whole point because I think a lot of times before we didn't have time because we were so busy. I got to go to this party. I got to go to this.
Yes.
And now it's like we're at home with our
Yeah,
family. We can do something that is fun together, but also
totally.
beautiful and make the house smell good. Girl, we winning.
I
I,
know. I
this,
love it. Yeah, there's so many ways to have fun. Hold on, let's see if there's any
yeah,
questions.
I saw a couple questions coming in too.
Oh, need to make napkin rings. So here's another trick for napkin rings.
Okay.
So I don't own napkin rings, but
I
I have these napkins here. Yeah. So you
Okay.
can take. So I'm obsessed with velvet ribbon. I buy it every year at like Michael's or wherever I see it at the fabric store, and I
Yeah.
just have this box of ribbon that I just keep for wrapping presents and whatnot. So then this year I discovered that you can do this: is you take a small piece of ribbon and then you put your napkin over it, and then you can just like pleat it like this,
Ah,
and then take the little ribbon and crisscross it like that.
yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
then hot glue, my favorite, my best friend here.
Yeah, I gotta get
Um,
one of these.
yes, put a little dot of hot glue right in the middle there. And then you've got a little napkin ring.
Oh, and then you know that's gonna stay. So you don't have
It'll
to
just
try to
stay, and then your
yeah,
guests or your kids and your family can just slip it off, and then
yeah,
that's how I added with, a hot glue gun,
the little tassel with
a little tassel, or you could even just glue, you know, some oranges there.
cute.
But I think it's fine just as is too. It's just a little ribbon, so you don't have to go out and get napkin rings. You can just sort of improvise, or you can even take a piece of twine and tie it into a little bow tie. Just like these little touches, it's fun to sort of dig through what you already own and kind of
Yes.
make do.
It looks like it's made well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Made
right,
well and made with love.
right, made well and created and cultivated. Okay, all in one.
Yes.
So that is perfect that they came together for this moment.
Yeah.
I really did just learn something that I never wrapped my mind around. And I have to be honest, like when it comes to a lot of the DIYs, I'm not the best at that. Of course, I'm great at it in the kitchen. But when it comes to like the crafts and things like that, it's time, right? That I
Totally.
didn't used to have, and I'd be kind of all over the place. So now I'm
Yeah.
so intrigued by it. So that's
Yeah.
amazing. And what I love is that because holidays are different this year, like you just showed that to us, right? We could do this with our families, like on FaceTime, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any plans to Zoom with your family?
Yes, we did Zoom for Thanksgiving because all of my family is in North Carolina. The same
Right.
husband, we're both from the same small town. So all of our family is there. And so we play games and arts and crafts, like with the kids. We do, a couple of different Zoom games and
Oh, I
crafts.
love that.
So I think I'm calling my sister right after this and say, girl, I think I got something for us.
Totally. An online craft session. I love it. Everybody get their oranges.
Yeah, I mean, and it's cost efficient, right? Because I mean, you can get a whole
Totally.
bag of oranges for $3.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And at a minimum, you just have the garland with nothing on it, and it's so pretty and fun. And you have fun doing it too. I mean, you need to sort of keep busy for those 4 or 5 hours while it's baking in the oven, but still it's a
but I
great
mean,
great craft.
do other things to prepare and get ready and
Totally.
decorate or go run some
Yeah.
errands and do all that good stuff to get your mind
Totally.
in the holiday spirit. But I also
Yep.
that I mean, it's oranges, so even the fact that they stay good year round, you can use it for other things. Because I'm
Totally.
thinking, I'm like, I think
Earrings. I know you're in your fruit earrings.
I know. I'm right now. I'm like, is that how they do it? You had to buy a dehydrator.
Yeah, or maybe even like you could lacquer them or something. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think
That
they,
could be a cool idea,
yeah. But
actually.
I was thinking because sometimes I like them long. Like I can,
Yeah. Oh yeah, like a chandelier.
yeah. Wouldn't that
You're onto something.
be? There we go. Slices of citrus. That'll be very cute. Or put a little barrette in your hair. If you wanted to do something
Totally.
like that. Oh,
Yeah.
let me find out. I'm about to be an arts and craft girl.
I love it. I love it. A
I'm gonna be
convert.
there when I grow up. Very good.
Well,
Uh,
I want to know what you have planned for the holidays. I heard you have a vegan menu uh, planned out, and I'm so curious what that entails.
Well, because I'm vegan, people always are like, well, what are you going to eat for the holidays? And I always,
Yeah.
I'm going to eat the same thing I've always ate, just minus the turkey, right? Uh,
Okay.
Options for that. But I'm very, Southern and traditional when it comes to those holiday meals. And so I have to have my greens, which is like turnips and collards, like mix. I love a good mix of greens.
Mm,
They're kind of during the holidays, I stew them more so than sauteing them. And so that's one of the things that how I grew up. You cook them for a long period of time on low versus, now that I'm in LA, we saute greens real quick. They done
right. Right.
lightly cooked. But that's a big thing is stewing the greens and letting them cook down for a while in the onion and in the garlic and now veggie broth because I don't use turkey broth or anything like that.
Right.
And I use a little bit, of course, like a little bit of liquid smoke to still give me a little bit of a meat
Mm,
flavor that is there.
yeah.
And people are always like, that is not vegan greens. I'm like, yes,
Is
they
there
are.
bacon in this? Yeah. Wait, so
Right.
do you do it in a cast iron pot, or do you do it over the slow cooker?
No, well, you
How
can
do
do
you stew?
if you wanted
Okay.
to slow cooker, you could, but I just do it in a pot on the stove, like a regular cooking pot. Not cast iron, but just a regular cooking pot and just cook it slow. Just cook
Nice.
it slow. Yeah. And then of course my candy yams, which is a staple. You got to have candy yams on the holiday table, right?
How do you do them?
So I candy yams. I put just, slice the yams, but not too thin because you want them to be a little bit thick in texture, but soft enough so that they, don't break apart and fall apart. And then I have just a little bit of water. This is how my aunt taught me over the phone over 20 years ago how to make them, right? A little bit of water in the pan, a little bit of butter. Well, not a little bit of butter, right? Much butter.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all about the butter.
All about the butter, brown
Yeah.
sugar, then a little bit of pure sugar, that's bone char free because of course I'm vegan now. And then I use cinnamon and nutmeg, and you bake them and you cover them and bake them first. And so while you're doing that, that water is important unless you're one of the people who like to boil your yams first. And you can do that because that's your business. But I do mine kind of like you. I do it slow, go handle other business and then come back to it, right? So while it's covered, it's baking and it's softening and cooking the yams because of the moisture from the water. And then afterwards you uncover it. I add a little bit more cinnamon and things. And if you want to, you can add a little marshmallows. You can do vegan marshmallows. They do exist. Okay.
Do they?
Yes. There's a brand called Dandies. They're vegan. You can use those.
I didn't even know. Oh, because they have eggs in them. Is that why they're? I didn't know marshmallows were.
They have gelatin from pork.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yes. So I use those, and if you want to get real fancy, you can put a little maple syrup and crushed pecans and sprinkle it all on the top with extra cinnamon.
So you let it brown uncovered.
Yes.
I love that. I love caramelized yams. They're just like, oh, when they've been sitting in the oven for even just a little too long and you get those like crispy tips.
Exactly. That's why they call it candy yams.
Yes.
That's why they call it that. And then of course we gotta have our mac and cheese. And this is a big debate in the world. Is vegan mac and cheese good? Have you had it? Now I've tried many that were not, I'll be honest.
Okay.
But I mastered it. People requested, they're like, you gotta make your mac and cheese. A lot of people still don't believe me when I tell them it's vegan. My secret little recipe that my ingredient is butternut squash. I use that.
Oh.
So good. So it adds a little bit of sweetness to the savor, right? And so
how do you make it creamy then? You
cashew plain yogurt.
Okay.
And then I use butternut squash. But first I boil the butternut squash with a red potato and carrots you can use as well. And you boil it all down together. And then you can take that while they're soft if you want and put it in like a Vitamix or a blender to get it very, very smooth. And it starts to instantly turn like cheddar. It looks like that, right? Like
because you get the color now from the okay.
Yes. And so then you add your seasonings. Of course, I use garlic powder, honey, for everything. But I use garlic powder, a couple other like allspice, or not allspice, but like a salt-free seasoning, like everything. Put a little bit of that in there. And then with my cashew yogurt, has to be plain. Honey, I messed up the time and got vanilla and
gosh.
I was like, something ain't right. And I looked at it. Oh, vanilla. Right. And you add that. And then of course you can get, I like to mix the vegan cheese. So I get like maybe a mozzarella or pepper jack with like a cheddar, a couple of different ones, and you mix it in, melt it down, and blend that all together. Now you have a very good cheese base that you can add to your noodles and butter, and you bake it. Or if you don't want to bake it, it's already ready. You just stir it all up together and it's good, right? But if you bake it and get that little bit of the, little bit of the browning on the top and a little bit of crispiness, and put a little paprika, smoked paprika on the top. My mom always did that with regular mac and cheese.
I love paprika.
So I do it too because it's cute. It reminds me.
Yeah, I love that. Wait, so do you have a favorite brand of vegan cheese? Because I'm sure they're not all great.
Oh yeah, it depends on what you want it for, right?
Okay.
So I really am a fan now of Daiya cheese because they now use chickpeas. And it's a different flavor. It melts really, really good. It's a very cheesy flavor. And before I was vegan, I was already eating vegan cheese because I'm allergic to milk, right? So I had been exploring for years trying to find a really good one. But chow cheese is really good too. Especially like the slices. But the other cheese that Daiya makes, it's not at every store. I always find it at like Smart and Finals and places like that. sharp. It's like a medium sharp, not very sharp, but a
Yeah,
block of cheese, vegan cheese. And it's
that
amazing.
is good.
Just like Miyoko's. Miyoko's is very, very good. And hers is like coconut based, but it's so good. So very,
Yum.
and there's so many options that, that are out there now. So I always tell people when you're looking for that, because a lot of times when people are trying to go plant-based, cheese
Yeah,
is one of the hardest things for people to let go of. I never had a
absolutely.
problem because I was allergic. So
Right.
don't be hard on yourself. I know it's a hard thing because I used to love it before I couldn't have it. So
Yeah, yeah. And so were your kids raised vegan then?
no, I've only been vegan for 3 years, right?
Okay,
My daughter, who is 19, she is vegan for 2 years. And then my
okay,
husband just went vegan. He's vegan 1 year. And my son, who is 8, is not vegan. He's vegan-ish. That's what he calls himself. Okay.
okay.
So because I want everyone to make their own decision. If my
Totally.
husband and my daughters and everybody decided, you know what, we don't want to do this anymore, then that's their
Yeah,
business, right?
totally.
But my son eats tons of vegan stuff. Of course, we're at home, so he eats vegan because that's what mom cooks every day.
Yeah,
In school, or if he was at a birthday party, he knows that if he wanted
you
regular
can eat
chicken,
with everyone's.
he can have that. If he wanted the chicken nuggets, he can have that. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm just, I'm all about making your own choices in life. And I feel like when you make your own decision, you stick to it. But if somebody tells you
Absolutely.
how to do it, it's the quickest way to turn somebody off from it. And so that's
Totally.
how I raised my family. But
I absolutely agree.
yes, absolutely. And then of
So,
course, oh, what
no, go on. What else? What else?
say, and then of course I do potato salad because that's a Southern favorite. So we have greens, we got mac and cheese, we got yams, and we have potato salad, which is, some people don't like yams, crazy enough, right? So they go for the more savory. So I always
Yes,
have potato salad on the table that's chilled and it's so good. It's one of my favorites with
I love
red
potato salad.
potatoes and a little bit of celery and onion and relish and mustard and mayo and a
Yum.
pinch of sugar, paprika as well.
Do you mush it or do you like the chunks of potato in it? Just
I like both.
chunky or
The mixture, right? Because I don't like it too creamy because then it's like, what is this
Yeah.
mashed potatoes?
Is it supposed to be warm or cold? Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do with this? But
Right.
I like it to have a little bit of the mush, but pieces of big potato in there so you still know what it is.
Right.
I prefer it that way. And then when I have all these fun dishes, right? I like it to do it buffet style. That helps you, honey. If you're the person that got to be serving, honey, you lay it
I'm
out,
all about buffet style too.
all about it. You lay it
Yeah.
out, put your plates on the end of the table.
Serve yourself.
Here we go. Make them feel like we done went out, y'all. Guess what? We
Yeah.
went out to the buffet.
Totally.
Yeah. And I'm not a baker. I'm not a big dessert person. Everybody knows that about me. And when the world was open, of course, when you could have tons of people over, my little secret I would always tell people, because, like potluck style, they would
Yeah.
say, what can we bring? And I would do all the cooking.
Dessert.
Bring a dessert.
Yes. I'm like that too. I am not a baker.
I'm not a baker, but
I
girl,
feel you.
table, I would have that dessert table looking so cute because everybody bring you something. They were like, "Oh, did you make this?" Well,
Yeah.
but it's just to relieve yourself of stress, right? You ain't got
You
to work.
have to delegate.
Yeah, and then of course this year, because I'm not having people over, and it's not the same. And my kids, and my husband, he has a sweet tooth. They all love sweets, and they know that I don't cook or bake rather. So I'm telling them this year, how about y'all, bake something? Let's see who comes up with the best idea and see what happens. I don't know how it's gonna go.
Did
I
they
know
have a trial run over Thanksgiving?
they
They've been
did.
practicing.
I bought regular old apple pies to put in the oven on Thanksgiving.
Nice.
And it was my husband's birthday, so we used the cake. So I kind of, I had cake, so it was okay.
Yeah.
But now we don't have anything to, nobody's birthday or anything. So I'm like, maybe some cookies or some brownies, simple things. So we're gonna see what happens.
There might be a baker in the family, a natural baker. You never know.
Listen, I
So
didn't have a mixer, but I think somebody sent me one. I hope to help them out.
awesome.
Yeah.
People are wondering if you eat tofurkey.
No, I don't. My husband enjoys it. I don't eat soy because I have an allergy to it. I used to love soy. I used to eat, all those fun things, but it gives me headaches. So I try to stay away from it. But I'm definitely a fan of it. And I think it's a great source of protein, but I think everything in moderation.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then are there any dishes in that menu that you make ahead of time so you're not spending the entire day cooking on
The
Christmas or Christmas Eve? The
the
potato salad.
salad. And then I also do a dressing, and I usually do the dressing the night before as well. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of the great thing about most of your meals being kind of sides.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I
It's
do, yeah,
it is all about the sides, let's be honest.
sides, yeah.
Nobody ever really likes the turkey anyway. I mean, it's okay, but it's all about the sides. And I
I,
feel like the sides really kind of define or represent people's culture and like family traditions, you know? I mean, I always love hearing about what people are making as the sides for
yeah,
their
absolutely.
holiday meals.
And then you find out like, oh, you guys eat that for the holidays, and then it makes you want to.
Yeah.
I want to try that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I want to try that vegan mac and cheese.
it's so good. It's so good, honey. When the
Ugh,
window opens up, you have to come over, and I make you some.
okay. I will take that invite.
You bring the orange garland, I bring the mac and cheese.
Perfect. Deal. Done.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Oh
love it.
my
This
gosh.
is great.
Well, you think you'll be on all unpacked from your move by the holiday?
Well, I pray so. That is the goal, right? I'm
Yeah.
working a lot and trying to do all that at the same time, but I've at least got my office almost together.
Nice.
I got this little space together, but it's the furniture because because of COVID, it's a lot
Right.
delayed. So we're waiting on a lot of furniture to be delivered. So hopefully, if not, you know what? We're blessed. We have a roof over our head. I'm
Absolutely.
surrounded by my family. We're
Yeah.
together. We are, we're well and healthy. And so for that, we can always be grateful. And honey, furniture is just furniture. It'll be here when it get here. And them boxes,
Absolutely.
they get unpacked or not, it'll be all right.
And it'll be memorable no matter
Yes,
what.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are going to wrap up. Thank you so much. This was so fun. And I
Yes.
want to thank everyone who joined us for the second episode of Cozy Chats presented by Create and Cultivate and Madewell. And be sure to tune in next week for the final episode of the 3-part series. Oops, sorry about that. Where Martha Stewart and Bobby Burke will be showing us how to mix up festive holiday cocktails.
Ooh,
I'm so tuning into that one.
I'm
So head to createandcultivate.com to RSVP now. You won't want to miss it. And if you want to rewatch this episode, I believe they will be making it, they'll post it on their IGTV channel, Madewell will. So tune in. And happy holidays to everybody, and happy holidays to you. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Happy holidays to you, honey. Thank you so much. I appreciate your energy. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate
Thank you, everyone.
Very good. Happy.
Bye.
Bye.